Hello, boxing fans. September the 13th, there's a fight coming up. It's going to be Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. I've been listening to a lot of opinions about that fight that's coming up. I've heard from trainers, I've heard from sports commentators, I've heard from retired fighters, I've heard from current fighters, and I've heard from Joe Blow Citizen, supposed experts. Okay. And they have given their opinion. I'm going to give mine. There's a couple of things that have been said that I don't agree with. The ones that I agree with the most are Roy Jones Jr. and Andre Ward. Roy Jones said that Terrence Crawford has about 5 different ways he can beat Canelo, but Canelo only has one way to beat him. I agree with that. But Andre Ward said the real thing. Terrence ain't lost yet, and until somebody beat him, I ain't gonna go against him. And that's how I feel. This is what they're saying. They're saying that Canelo is the bigger fighter. I agree. He is the bigger fighter. They say that there's weight divisions for a reason, but it's not for the reasons that they think. I mean, they make weight divisions to determine what belt is on the line. That's all. Because if they weigh in and Terrence Crawford weighs 168 and Canelo weighs 168, then they the same size. Irregardless of what happens after the weigh-in, whoever puts on weight or whatever. Okay, if you make the weight, you can fight for the belt. Now, in most cases, the fighter moving up in weight, from what I remember historically, is the fighter moving up in weight, he loses the fight. I'll give you 2 examples. Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, if not the greatest. He had over 200 fights. And in every fight of them 200 plus fights, either he won a decision, lost a decision, or knocked out somebody and won by KO. Only one time in over 200 plus fights was he not able to finish the fight. And that's when he moved up in weight. He fought Joey Maxim in New York City. It was 104 degrees in the ring. Now you figure with the stadium lights on him, it was probably 110 degrees in the ring. And Joey Maxim outweighed Sugar Ray by 18 pounds. Sugar Ray was too tired. He just couldn't go on. And he was winning the fight. That's one example. Then there's Bob Foster, one of my favorite fighters. Bob Foster, one of the greatest light heavyweight fighters that ever fought. He wanted to make more money. What did he do? He moved up in weight. He fought 5 heavyweight fighters and lost all 5. 2 were the greatest heavyweights that ever fought. One was Joe Frazier. He fought Joe Frazier, and Joe Frazier had a 21-pound advantage in weight. And I don't know what possessed him to fight Muhammad Ali, because Muhammad Ali had a 41-pound weight advantage. He got knocked out 2 times by them. Okay, so the weight division thing, that's the argument that's going to determine that Terrence Crawford's going to lose. Well, it didn't work with Evander Holyfield. He made his career out of going up against bigger guys and winning. And we know what Roy Jones did to John Ruiz when he moved up to heavyweight. Now, John Ruiz is no Canelo Alvarez. So that is not really a good example, but it does show that you can move up and do well. Now, here's the second thing they talk about, Terrence Crawford's resume. Terrence Crawford, his resume is not his fault. I'm a fighter. I fight who you put in the ring with me. And I watched over 15 Terrence Crawford fights. And all 15 of them guys they put in the ring with him didn't get him no trouble. But their names, that's the promoter's job. Now, who was the promoter? Bob Arum. Now, when Terrence Crawford in 2014 was named Fighter of the Year, that should have been enough to give him carte blanche to pick some fighters. And he called out 3: Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, and Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman was a Golden Boy fighter. Earl Spence was a PBC fighter. But Manny Pacquiao was a top-ranked fighter. And Terrence Crawford was a top-ranked fighter. There shouldn't be no problem making that fight. Bob Arum is the promoter of both of them. But Bob Arum did not put Manny Pacquiao in that ring with Terrence Crawford because he knew, well, he didn't know, but he suspected, just like I did, that Terrence Crawford will beat Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao was his cash cow. He ain't gonna sacrifice his cash cow. So he kept Terrence Crawford in check. Bob Arum is responsible for Terrence Crawford's resume. You're his promoter. So damn that resume stuff. That don't mean nothing. The third thing they talk about is Terrence Crawford struggled against Israel Madrimov. And he did not. I disagree. Now, did he dominate Madrimov? No. Did he try to dominate Madrimov? No. Because Madrimov was a bigger fighter. This was Terrence's first time fighting at that weight. And Madrimov showed him that even though I got 10 fights as a professional, some more of that resume bullshit they talking about, I got 10 fights as a pro, but I had over 300 fights as an amateur. I know what I'm doing in here. I'm not no buster. I know how to fight, and he did. He made a good showing of himself, and I tip my hat to him. Terrence fought smart, and I do believe he won that fight. Now, here's the thing. I think whoever controls that ring is going to win the fight. That's what I believe. Whoever controls that ring will win the fight between those two, Canelo and Terrence Crawford. And I do believe that Terrence Crawford is going to find a way to control that ring. I don't think he's going to be stupid and try to knock out Canelo Alvarez, because Canelo Alvarez is by no means no cupcake. That boy can fight, he can punch, and if Terrence try to exchange blow for blow, tit for tat against Canelo, he's fighting a fool's fight. And Terrence Crawford is no fool. I predict that it will go the distance and Terrence Crawford will win a distance fight. He won't win by KO. But then this is boxing too. So you got to think about that. Strange things happen in the ring. In any event, I'm going with Bud until somebody beat him. I'll be watching.